Hi guys, so you may have noticed recently a video where I had these custom dice in it. So what I wanted to do today was take this opportunity to give you a closer look and do a little bit of a review on them, to be honest. So let's take a look. Right, so this is my dice tray, as you're all familiar with. And let me just see if I can get one of these in focus for you. Now, I ordered these a little while back. I really fancied, or really liked the idea of having a custom dice with an engraved surface with my logo on it. It looks awesome when they're all rowed together. I can say cool things like, I'm looking for a blam, and then you get it. Hey. So yeah, I am really chuffed with the way these came out. Now, I ordered two sets because I wanted the green and the black, but they're not as expensive as you would expect. You have to order them in a minimum of 25, and of course the more you order, then the cheaper it becomes. These came out at something like 60 or 70 pence per dice. When you're talking about 25 dice, you're looking at around about 16 quid, I think it was, before postage and packaging. I'm not 100% on that, but it wasn't anywhere near what I was expecting in terms of being costly, so I was absolutely chuffed. Now I'll go through a little bit later in the video on how you go about ordering these, because it's not as straightforward as just sending an image file and saying do this. Which, as somebody who's run a sort of custom business doing custom logos and things for people on items, you can get that quite a bit from people, just expecting it to be as simple as that. But there's a little bit more work required from the customer on these things. So let's take a quick close-up. Now, you can see, if I bring it right in and get it to focus, there we go. You can see the sort of slightly jagged lines there. You have to excuse my shaking hand. This is really close to the camera. You can see the jagged lines there where the laser has engraved the shapes. Now, I wasn't expecting to get perfect lines whatsoever. You would need to have cast dice in order to do that, or put some time into actually working on each dice individually. That's enough for that close-up. But as you can see, the detail is really, really well done. It looks nice when you, and it feels nice as well when you rub your finger across the surface, because obviously it's engraved. But from this sort of distance where you're going to be seeing it when you're playing, you really don't see those jagged lines, and it works really well. So I am happy. Now, there's been rumours on the internet, or threads put up, about the weighting of the custom dice from dice.co.uk. Now, I've been rolling these quite a bit since I read those articles, because the last thing I want is to have some sort of unfair advantage over the person I'm playing with, because I mainly bought these to do back reps on the channel, and I really didn't want to have any kind of unfair advantage over somebody else. So I've been rolling them in groups of 12 and trying to identify where there's more than two that come up as the blam symbol. And to be honest, I haven't noticed any massive variation, or rather any massive bias, to be honest, towards the 6 or the 5. I was actually very surprised to see that they are fairly well done. So in terms of that, I am happy. Though, of course, if you're playing with friends, and of course when I'm playing on the channel, I'll probably have both people who are playing use the same dice, so everybody will be using these. So if they roll more 6s, then they roll more 6s, and everybody gets a much more successful game. And as you can see there, I've rolled a lot, and I've got just the 1 and just a couple of 5s. So just from that, you can see they're not biased in any way towards rolling high. All of those dice there didn't roll very high. Anyway, getting completely off the point there. It's just one of the concerns that I had, having read some online forums, to be honest. Now, I've got 52 of these, got an awful lot in a bag here, because I had to order 2 lots of 25. which is fine, because the main reason I wanted the two different colours is so I could basically differentiate between different roles, because of course in games like 40k you really need to differentiate between certain types of AP weapons and things. So you might be rolling 3 AP4 and maybe 1 AP1, and then you can just go ahead and roll them all together. So yeah, I guess that's everything I wanted to cover about how the dice look, how they roll, and how happy I am with them. Now, in terms of getting them ordered, right, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Now, you need to provide them with a vector file. So I basically I looked up some tutorials first, and I saw the best way of doing it, the easiest way, is to use Adobe Illustrator. Now, luckily, Adobe Illustrator have a 30-day free trial. So I went ahead, downloaded the free trial, followed a tutorial, which basically involves using an image, preferably in black and white. I have the logo down in this corner that I used. I just made it black and white, and that was enough, really. Then you stick it into Adobe, or import it rather into Adobe Illustrator. Then you use I think it was a trace tool, and then that traces it, creates a vector of the image, and then you just save it as I think it was an EPS file or something similar to that. It's on their website, of course. Link down in the description. And you send that to them and say, can I have this replacing the number 6 or the number 1 or whatever you want it to replace on my dice? And then they will send you a quote, and then of course it's just a matter of saying yes. Mine came quicker than I was expecting. They've got a lead time of 3 to 4 weeks on the site. Well, I was expecting it to take 3 odd weeks. I think they came under 2 weeks eventually, which I was really, really happy about. Getting them in under 2 weeks was fantastic. But of course, you can't guarantee that, because they could have a large number of orders or what have you, or anything could cause a little bit of a delay. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say really on these. I am really happy. I'm looking forward to getting these on some of the bat reps, and give it that nice professional feel to the videos that I'm making. As you know, I'm always striving to make more professional videos as he knocks the table and shakes everything, which of course is why I have this down here. If you feel like supporting me, throw me a couple of dollars, even $1. It all helps, and it helps me to improve things like the area I'm in. As you can see, there's crap everywhere at the moment. It's turning into a bit of a storage zone, but I'm hoping to solve that. And of course, it all helps to improve the cameras and the mics. I'm hoping, or rather, I am hopeful that what you're seeing and hearing here is actually fairly top notch in terms of quality. I've put a lot of effort into the microphone setup, the camera setups, the lighting that I've got going on here, of course, very cheaply. If you look back at one of my old videos, I'll go through how I achieved this for fairly cheap, probably less than most people just spend on a camera alone. I've got a multi-camera setup and I record everything in real time. But yeah, so if you want to get in touch with me, go on any of these here. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Stay well, guys.